Let me ask you about another issue related to the ability of kids to go to college that has come before us in this presidential campaign, and that is in-state tuition. You know that Governor Perry, I would say somewhat bravely, went before a Tea Party audience at one of the early debates and defended the decision of this state to offer in-state tuition to the children of undocumented persons. I wonder how you feel as Chancellor, given the landscape that you preside over every day, if you think that the decision of the state to offer in-state tuition is a wise one or not.
The greater good for the greater number is to have the most educated populace that you can have. Right. So I agree with Rick Perry.
You agree with Rick Perry?
And John Sharp.
And John Sharp. And with
and George W. Bush.
All but 4 members of the legislature who supported. Correct. Yeah, you were, of course, called upon to vote on this.
And I voted correctly. I appreciate you pointing out.
You're now living under the world that you helped create. Do you understand why some people in your old party, I'm not going to make assumptions about what political affiliation you have today, Chancellor, although you're welcome to tell me, but in your old party, do you begrudge some people who believe that we should not be offering a tuition break, that it somehow is incentivizing people who do not have a legal right to be here? That is the argument.
I have a long history of disagreeing with people in my party and other parties and independents, and that's part of the process. That's why I love the legislative body, particularly the House. We pop towels and we high-five and we argue and we backstab and we lie to each other and then we hug and we come together. And
you make it sound so attractive. I can't imagine why somebody wouldn't want to go into the public service. Yeah, but so you see no merit in the argument that by providing in-state tuition, you are incentivizing what is otherwise illegal conduct.
You either believe that human beings are better educated, or you believe human beings are better with education kept from them. Right. I err on the side of the former.
What about the other part of the law that you helped pass, the one that is less well known, and that is that not only do the children of undocumented persons have access to in-state tuition, they also have access to state financial aid. And while the in-state tuition may be a victimless crime of sorts, there is a limited pool of state financial aid. And if someone who is the child of an undocumented person gets access to state financial aid, if you do the math, someone who is the child of a legal citizen of this state and this country may not have access to it. So there you are taking money away, potentially from someone who might be here legally. What do you think about that?
Well, the assumption is that the children are here illegally. The children are, in many cases, citizens of the United States.
Birthright citizenship, in some cases, might be the...
That's correct.
Yeah.
But if you look at higher ed, and if you look at the total budget, most everything in the budget of Texas is an expense. Necessary expenses, important expenses. Highways are an expense. Prisons are an expense. Education is an investment. And various economists will tell you that for every dollar invested in higher ed, the return is $8 to $18. Right. And so prisons are expensive. There's a correlation between lack of education and incarceration. So I think the formula is pretty easy. It's a human being, there's education, let's make it available.